President Trump ordered the killing of General Soleimani in 2020. He was the Al-Quds, the sort of Iranian military militia leader who was taken out in a drone strike in Iraq. After that happened, the Iranian government then did say that President Trump and two other American politicians were responsible for the killing, and they sentenced them to death in absentia. In other words, if they ever went to Iran, they would be sentenced to death. Iran is had a very challenging time over the last year or so. Its militias, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis have been absolutely decimated by the Americans and the Israelis, and they've lost a huge amount of influence. Whenever Iran has tried to fire missiles at the US ally Israel, the Americans have shot them all down. So, on the world stage, Iran has been shown to be pretty weak. So these threats coming out now, I think they're not unexpected. I don't suppose that President Trump is too concerned about them. He is very well protected and seems to pretty much stay in the US these days. So, if President Trump ever went to Iran, I'd expect him to be arrested and dealt with. But I cannot see any way that President Trump would ever go to Iran. Iran has a very large conventional force, very large army, but equipped with very ancient equipment, pretty much old Russian-style tanks. So although it has numbers, it's not hugely capable. So when it says it's on alert, no doubt a lot of the reserves have been called into military bases, and a lot of the air defense systems have been made sure that they're ready to oppose any US airstrikes on it. But I wouldn't have thought it's any great difference from what they usually are. I think a lot of it is rhetoric aimed at the American president to try and make sure that he doesn't actually destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program. Because actually, with its very ancient but large army, really the only thing that would give it influence, proper influence in the region, was if it did have a nuclear capability. And we believe at the moment it does not have a nuclear capability, although it has missiles that could fire a nuclear warhead great distances. It's assessed that they don't yet have a viable nuclear warhead to go on those missiles. And that, I think, is what President Trump's talking about, and that's what he doesn't want to allow to progress. Conversely, of course, the Iranians do. So I think a lot of what we're hearing out of Iran at the moment is rhetoric rather than any sort of physical standing up of its military to oppose the US. I think Iran is in a weak position at the moment. I think I am sure that the mullahs in Tehran realize that they don't really have any of the cards. America has shown that it is willing to use its considerable military firepower. They have lost all their influence across the Arabian Peninsula with their militias being destroyed, and they're in a difficult position. Their main ally, the Russians, are focused elsewhere. And in the past, the Russians have given them military equipment to support them, but Russia is requiring all of that in Ukraine at the moment. and actually Russia is requiring Iranian drones in great numbers. So yeah, I think it is, hopefully it is prudent that they keep talking sort of behind closed doors, as it were. But I think Tehran is pretty weak at the moment, and it would appear the Americans know that, and that's why they're turning the screw.